What if I told you that the WT E100, the tier 10 collector tank everybody's fears in World of Tanks PC, is nothing, and I truly mean nothing, compared to the tank we're about to talk about today. This, ladies and gentlemen, is the Gendarme, a tier 10 French tank destroyer that features an 8-shell autoloader. And even if you're already thinking, damn, what the hell, how is that possible that it has 8 shots? It doesn't. It actually has 16.
I'm dying. Help me.
Yeah, it's totally broken. But before going further, let me explain to you why you will not find this tank in any single server, regardless if you're playing European or American or even Asia. Basically, you may or may not know this without involving any politics, but since the war in Ukraine, the Russians had their own server when it comes to World of Tanks PC. World of Tanks Blitz being a different entity, they decided to merge the server of the Russian and the European in order for them to keep all their player base within the European law. But World of Tanks PC being originally a game from Russia, they decided to do the contrary and keeping their Russian players on their own server. So they created a new game called Lesta, which is basically a copy-paste of World of Tanks PC with some weird shit like the tank we're about to talk about today. And yeah, I'm kinda jealous. Unlike us World of Tanks Blitz player that got ourselves the Lion for Christmas for a price way too expensive, those lucky motherfuckers from the Russian server got themselves the Waffenträger Alfie 100 on steroid. I checked real quick the event to know if it would have hurt my wallet to actually try to get the Gendarme, and it would have been definitely the case because the drop chance is only 2% and there is no chance on the Russian server. It's good to see that Wargaming, regardless of their nationality, just loves money, right? But anyway, I wanted to dive deep into what this monstrosity was, and here is my proposal. First, we're gonna take a brief look at the statistics, and after we're gonna see people getting totally destroyed with that thing. When it comes to the statistics, it's quite close to the WT Alfie 100 in terms of playstyle, simply because you do not have any armor at all, which means that people will penetrate you with high explosive. But do you really care when you have more than 4,000 damage per minute? I don't think so. 400 damage per shot, 16 freaking ammo or shell, 2 shells every time you fire 1 time, potential clip damage 6,400 in 25 seconds or 800 per shot every 0.5 seconds with a 3-second reload intra-clip and a crazy gun dispersion. Not even talking about the aim time here. 50 kilometers per hour maximum and 16 of reverse speed. Honestly, this just looks like a big joke. And it is actually a joke. Not for you, but for your opponents, and a pretty bad one. While we take a look at what this tank is capable of, let's talk about what could happen if something like this would ever be implemented into World of Tanks Blitz. Because you already know the WT Alfie 100 that we talked about yesterday is coming into the game, but let's face it, it's not as broken as something like what you're seeing on screen right now. In my opinion, what went through developers when it comes to that monstrosity is the fact that they thought that giving it maybe 60 seconds of reload, because you're gonna see the reload of the whole thing is insane, would maybe balance it. But yeah, when you have 16 shots, each of them being 400 damage, a double shot mechanism, and the possibility of destroying everything with a 6,000 clip potential, what do you expect? What do you expect? I mean, I can understand why Russian developers kind of don't care about balancing at the moment. They are just pushing up premiums that are totally broken because they need to support war effort, and because I feel like World of Tanks branch in Russia is facing a really struggling economy right now because of the war once again, and therefore they're pumping out all of those stupid tanks that obviously will make pay-to-win players wet as virgins for their first time. But at the same time, is it really a good idea to do that? Are you really into destroying your own game? Because that looks like it. And just take a look at what this tank is capable of. It's just stupid at this point, because regardless of what tank you put in front of that thing, there is nothing you can do. This thing has the clip potential of killing 2 mouse in 25 seconds if it doesn't miss any shell. I don't think you can fathom how much broken and how crazy that is. Like, I remember when I first started World of Tanks Blitz back in 2015, even maybe 2012. I feel like I started when the game was just released, when we had access to maybe, let's say, 5 or 6 lines maximum, and I'm talking about World of Tanks PC. If you told me that 10 years later, the craziest, most armored with the most hit point tank could get taken out twice in 25 seconds by one tank only, I would have just quit the game already, right? So now the question is something like that possibly getting added into the game World of Tanks European or World of Tanks Blitz? No, it's impossible. I don't think the developers are crazy enough to put something like that. So of course you're gonna tell me, yeah, but you know they are adding the WT Alpha 100. Yes, they are, but the tank got insanely nerfed. The real WT Alpha E100 could potentially clip a whole E100 by itself. The one we are having in World of Tanks Blitz can't do that, which makes me believe that the developers in the future, and if they have to implement such a monstrosity, will take that into consideration. Maybe it will have a better DPM than the WT Alpha 100 or a better clipping potential. That's possible, but they will counterbalance it by maybe touching the mobility or something that would definitely not allow you to destroy everything like they are doing. That being said, it's definitely not what happened on the Russian server, because that thing has the maneuverability, that thing has the gun, the only thing it doesn't have is the armor. But when you're a tank destroyer, do you really care? I don't think so. And of course, if Wargaming ever decided to release such monstrosity on the European server in World of Tanks Blitz or World of Tanks PC, we all know it would be in crate. It's definitely not going to be something they are going to hand to players for free, and you would have probably to spend quite a lot of money on it in order to be able to get it. Just take a look at the WT Alpha 100, for example. It's coming into the Blitz. They know that it's broken. Therefore, they are not allowing you to get charms while gambling for the tank, and your only, or I should say, best chance to get it is a 3% crate, for which we'll probably have to spend more than $10 on. So yeah, if they implemented something like this, this would cost quite a lot. But, you know, we will get there eventually. Because the problem is, just take a look at what Wargaming is doing in the different updates they are bringing us. The more we advance, the more the player base changes. And it's a real problem, because I'm not only talking about people playing, I'm actually talking about a society problem. Nowadays, with TikTok, algorithm, Reels, etc., people tend not to be able to focus too much, and they are lacking patience. How does it translate in World of Tanks in general? Wargaming wants faster battle. I know you're gonna say, no, not in Blitz, because they remove certain equipments or nerf them in order for us to shoot less, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, okay, but at one point, they will be forced to adapt to their new player base. And that player base are the iPad kids and the TikTok generation. And let me tell you that if a game takes more than 2 minutes to be accomplished, people are gonna leave the game. And even if the developers want to create a sustainable environment for everyone and pretty much have good games and longer games, if the customer decides otherwise, it's not gonna happen. And I feel like this is what we're heading to, and this is why this kind of tank is surprising at first right now, but will be common within the upcoming 5 years. I just hope that my predictions are wrong, but I truly doubt it. That being said, enjoy your latest years of World of Tanks Blitz, because it's already getting downgraded. Just take a look at tier 10, for example. I remember back in the days, it was not necessarily much harder, but the teammates didn't do that stupid shit they are doing currently. But it seems like with such a tank, soon enough, we will not have to worry about teammates anymore, because we'll have the DPM potential of clipping the entire team within one clip. Very nice, huh? So yeah, I just wanted to present to you that monstrosity. If you enjoyed, feel free to subscribe, like, and share. And personally, I'm gonna see you soon for a new video. Bye.
Hey, you. Yes, you. Like that video? Why not going for another one? I have plenty of videos you can choose from. All you have to do is hop on this truck. Come, don't be afraid. It's only one video.